Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving my match predictions for the Carabao Cup semi-finals second leg. And I know what you're thinking, the ties are pretty much done and dusted, it's over, but you never know when it comes to the game of football. We have seen massive upsets in the past and anything can happen. Newcastle obviously take the 1-0 lead going back to St James's Park against Southampton, but it's only by a 1-0 margin. Imagine if Southampton get a goal early on, you never know, the game's on, Southampton could see themselves marching down with the Saints to Wembley Stadium. In terms of the game with Nottingham Forest, obviously Manchester United have a commanding 3-0 lead, but we've seen bigger upsets in football. Let's see if Nottingham Forest have the toughness and the steel within their mindset to turn things around. So honestly, going into the Carabao Cup second leg fixtures, it's all to play for, especially in the Newcastle v Southampton game, and let's see what truly happens. However, before going this video and give my match predictions, you know what I'm going to say. Make sure you guys like, comment and hit that big subscribe button right there, because only 10% of you guys are actually subscribed to my YouTube channel. And make sure you leave your predictions, no matter how chaotic, how unpredictable they are going to be. So the first game I'm going to be predicting is Newcastle United versus Southampton. And like I said, there's only a 1-goal margin which splits these two sides. No matter how well Newcastle have been doing this season, third within the Premier League table, and Southampton being in the relegation zone, it's only 1 goal in it. So like I said, imagine Southampton gets an early goal. It's all to play for yet again when it comes to the Carabao Cup second leg of the semi-finals. And going into this game, I'm not going to deny it. Even I know it's a major ask to ask Southampton to literally win this game by a 2-goal margin. This is because we know already Newcastle have literally had the most clean sheets in Europe. 16 in total. So defensively, they have been magnificent. They have been sensational. It even calls for Bruno Guimaraes. He literally said the other day that he thinks Nick Pope is the best goalkeeper in the world. Although he's engaging with hyperbole, it doesn't remove the fact that Newcastle defensively and the goalkeeper have been marvellous. So I can't see how Southampton are going to be able to score at least 2 goals to send themselves through straight away. And the second factor is that Newcastle this season at St James's Park are yet to lose a game. This includes teams like Chelsea visiting them, Manchester City visiting them at Newcastle, and they still weren't able to pull off a victory. This shows Newcastle at home are a fortress. Ever since Eddie Howe and the new owners have come, the atmosphere has been electric. The fans have been turning up to games, roaring, cheering the team on, and there's been a daunting atmosphere for teams to come to try win. So why would I think that Southampton, a team in and around the relegation zone as we speak, will be able to have the quality and the toughness and the mindset to march into St James's Park and win by a 2-goal margin? So this just shows straight away that Southampton are going to have to perform 2 things that barely ever happen against Newcastle: losing at St James's Park and scoring goals. And we know Southampton going forward, they are not filled with great promise. Players like Che Adams, Armstrong aren't clinical strikers. They aren't the killers. They don't have that killer mentality within them to shut games out. They aren't the type of strikers to literally need 1 or 2 chances to bury it. They need 3 or 4. And against a resolute Newcastle defence, I don't see this happening. Yes, you have James Ward-Prowse over set pieces, and we know on his day can whip him tremendous balls where it's harder to miss the goal. But at the end of the day, that's really who their main man is, and if Newcastle keep him quiet even from open play, I can't see the players in and around James Ward-Prowse to have the ability to create many chances for their unclinical strikers. So going into this game, it is going to be a major ask. It's going to be tough, and Nathan Jones is somehow going to have to formulate a magnificent game plan which teams haven't done in the past to be able to beat Newcastle within this fixture. And going into this game, Newcastle at home, the fans will understand the occasion. Their first final in what, nearly 20 years? So honestly, they're not going to allow the players to be complacent entering this game, strolling at St James's Park like it's a kick around in the park. They're going to be on the players that you have to perform. Eddie Howe's going to install this into the players, making sure they know that the tie is not over and it's not going to be easy. So Newcastle will arrive in this game with the right mentality, with the right attitude, that they still have a game to play. Also, I just feel like Newcastle have so many options, a variety of them off the bench, which they can use to change the complexion of the game, especially if it's not going their way. We saw it at St Mary's, Isak coming on, his trickery, his dribbling skills to be able to create for Joe Linton on the first. And then we also got St. Maximin, who we know he's a wild card, his dazzling skill and ability to beat a man, to literally create more space for other players around the pitch. So Newcastle genuinely have firepower to bring off the bench, especially if it ain't going their way. So Newcastle shouldn't panic, they should remain calm and composed, because the game will obviously lead to them winning, in my opinion. Going into this game, I think it's going to be a standard victory for Newcastle. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win at St. James's Park in a historic game where Newcastle march down to Wembley to the final. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest, and I am under no illusion to think that Nottingham Forest are going to somehow perform a miracle, which they will need to beat Manchester United to march down to Wembley. Nottingham Forest face a 3-0 deficit going into Old Trafford, where we know it's one of the hardest stadiums to win, since Manchester United have only lost there once this season under Ten Hag, who has changed the complexion of the side, especially when they play at home. So going into this game, Nottingham Forest are going to have that killer mentality. Every chance they get, they're going to have to bury it if they're going to be able to muster 3 goals, which I don't think they have done this season in the Premier League against lower sides. So it's a big ask, and let's see if Nottingham Forest are going to be able to do this. And there's only 2 ways, in my opinion, that Nottingham Forest are going to somehow get themselves back into this tie. First of all, they're going to have to be excellent game managers. Because you're down 3-0 and you're thinking it's only 90 minutes, you're still going to be patient, still going to have to be composed. If they somehow get an early goal at Old Trafford, maybe this might unnerve the crowd, make it a little bit tense, and this might feed into the Manchester United players' performances, making them not perform at optimum level, and that just right there gives you a chance. But that's if Nottingham Forest gets an early goal. Other variables may occur, like Manchester United most likely getting an early goal, which would probably seal the tie. Second of all, Nottingham Forest are going to have to be clinical, and even at the City ground, where we know it's a daunting atmosphere to come to, and Nottingham Forest had players like Gibbs, White and Johnson literally terrorising Manchester United's defence and midfield at times. They're going to have to be killers. They're going to have the mentality to score every single chance and opportunity they get at their feet or at their head. But even like we saw against Manchester United at the City ground, they were not clinical. We saw wayward chances get skied into the stands. We saw them go wide over the crossbar. So second of all, Nottingham Forest right there do not have the makeup to win this game, since they don't have these sort of players to get the goals when needed. Also, it's clear as day that Nottingham Forest, the players, the manager, Steve Cooper, do not have the experience to understand how to game manage over 2 legs. We saw in the first leg straight away, they conceded 3 goals, and that wasn't a 3-goal game worthy performance. I thought that Nottingham Forest did a lot better, but the fact you were lazy and not understanding the sense of the game, that look, let's take away a 1-0, a 2-0 defeat and go back to Old Trafford, where it's likely that we're still in the game. The fact that Nottingham Forest didn't have this mentality to manage the game shows me that if somehow they get a 1-0 or 2-0 lead, they might be erratic, they might throw men forward, they might try go for another goal when they have so much time on the board, which will obviously leave them vulnerable when it comes to counter-attacks from Manchester United. Also, if Manchester United are complacent, if Manchester United are arrogant to field a much weaker side, since they have so many more fixtures coming in the next few weeks or so, Nottingham Forest maybe do have a chance, because Manchester United's second team is beatable. But at the end of the day, Ten Hag is not going to do this. I feel like he will still start a relatively strong side for Manchester United, especially knowing how significant a cup competition win will be to feed the confidence amongst the players in the dressing room. So I can't see Manchester United losing this game. And he's the type of manager who demands perfection, demands the best from his players. So I can't see him having this laid-back attitude. We saw in friendlies during the World Cup how angry he was when the players lost the ball and were poor in transition when it comes to defending. So Manchester United will not only be looking to go through in this game, they'll be looking to win this game against Nottingham Forest. So I think Nottingham Forest are going to lose. I'm going to go for a 2-1 loss at Old Trafford, where Manchester United will field out a weaker side, but still will have enough to win this game overall, like they did earlier on this season, winning 3-0. Thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you guys leave me your predictions, your comments. What do you think is going to be happening in the second leg of the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup? And who do you think is going to be marching on to Wembley at the end of this tournament?